All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Marshall Moses, but like I'm starting this whole thing now, and the name of my YouTube channel is Soul Body Meta. It has a purpose, but I won't get into that now. So I'm going to introduce myself as Soul Body Meta. Please, nobody laugh, because everybody in here at least has you know my name, okay? So what's up, everybody? I'm Soul Body Meta, and it feels so weird. Last week, we were talking about the law of attraction and how important the subconscious mind is. Does anybody remember anything we spoke about with the subconscious mind? Don't feel pressured to talk. You don't have to.
90% of it, you don't operate of it?
90 to 95% of it controls your life or what you do, and you're not consciously aware of it, which I found out. I was in college, playing basketball, which is how I self-identify, was what I was describing that, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why sometimes I'm good at basketball, why sometimes I'm not good at basketball, what's going on? And that's around the time in life where you start thinking about life and like, what am I gonna do with life? So blah, blah, blah. So then I stumbled across some psychology, and it was because I was in college. And so they started talking about the subconscious mind and how it's a big part of the law of attraction, but you're not consciously aware of it. So then I started contemplating, well, what am I attracting that I'm not aware of? So we got into all of that. This right here is a model created by a wonderful author named Victoria Gallagher. She wrote a book called The Law of Attraction. There's another book written by another author called The Law of Attraction Unraveled. It's not in contrast to one or the other. It's kind of more going in detail about this. But this book is very descriptive yet vague. I say vague not in a demeaning manner, but in a way of saying it's easy to understand. Yet it's talking about a very complex thing. And so this model and what I'm going to use to talk about comes from Victoria Gallagher in her book, The Law of Attraction. So this right here she calls the cognitive behavior triangle. So I wanted to learn more about the subconscious mind and what I'm attracting that I don't know I'm attracting and all of those things. So she relates this cloud right here to a thought. These faces right here that were so wonderfully drawn by my homie Johnny. To be emotions and this action. Now she's saying this is a triangle that's a part of what's happening subconsciously. Okay? Well, Marshall, what causes this cycle that just keeps going? Because I see the arrows. I see action doing this, but I'll describe it in a different way. Actually, I'll use what she said. Circumstance or events, meaning something happens. So you're at the crib and a glass of milk falls on the ground and breaks. And it was the last glass of milk. And you just made some cookies, chocolate chip, I hope, because that's my favorite. And they cooled off just enough. I like them a little warm, but I still want to be able to put them in the milk, but I don't want them to fall apart. So like it was perfect, and I knocked the milk on the ground. That's an event. Something happens now. I have a thought. Now, does anybody remember anything about what we talked about with thoughts last week? Not important. You don't have to remember. You don't know. You weren't even conscious, right? It's in your subconscious. So this right here is based on what you're intaking subconsciously and consciously. So you're intaking things, which is a pattern that's created, and it influences your thinking habits. So to give an example of the example, I knock a glass of milk over. If things like that typically happen in my life, and I think, that sucks, then it does suck. Does that make any sense? That's like so the more you think it, remember I told you you're not like either getting better or staying the same. That's not how it works. You're either getting better or reinforcing what you would describe as worse. I don't want to just say worse. Just want to say it's a book called As You Think. I want to say the author is called Mark Allen. Maybe not the original author, but I think he revised it. And I like how he described it. He said the mind is like a garden. Say you have a garden and you're growing something. Whether you tend to the garden is on you. But you crazy to think either tomatoes are growing or it's just open land. Because it's a garden. So if you ain't tending to it, something's growing. That's what's being said there. So a thought happens, we'll say, oh man, my milk fell. How does that feel? Nobody? Nobody's ever felt like that? You guys are all the supreme optimists in here? You'd be mad, right? I'd be pissed. That's what I would say. Upset is like, and you would be upset because she's a little bit more lighthearted than me. I'd be like really mad for no reason, right? That's what I'm trying to break. That's why I'm up here talking about this kind of stuff. So I'd be pissed. I'll drop my milk. and it's going to cause me to do something. Now, whatever that action is will depend on you and what circumstance you're in and what's going on in life, what you consciously take in on a normal basis. But whatever you do is going to be a reinforcement of how you think. And how you think is going to be a reinforcement of how you feel. Right? That's pretty simple to understand. So you say, how do I break this cycle? Well, last week in part 1, we talked about what you're consciously and subconsciously intaking. Conscious is what you're intaking right now, the beta state of mind. All right? We talk about the theta state and the beta state, and the theta state is a more serene state. That's kind of when you dozing off. I talked about wifey falling asleep on me. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, baby, you sure you went to this movie? She'd be like, yeah, I'm. That's the theta state of mind. And we talked about how a child is in the theta state of mind. I looked that up. See, I do this when I tell y'all things. And then I go back and I'm a nerd. Like, that's what I do. There are different variations of that out there. I advise you to not take anything I say at face value either. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a saint. I'm not saying do what I say. I'm saying, hey, I found out some stuff and I like telling people, right? So I found out that what I was thinking and intaking without knowing is part of the subconscious controlling most of my mind, which doesn't know words. It knows images, emotions, and the sensory intake besides sight, you know? And it helps release or become a part of a body, like I was talking earlier to you about dopamine being released. That's a part of a pattern system too on how you think and see things. So when you pull up to your favorite restaurant and your mouth start watering, that ain't by chance. And that can change. People like to associate that self with themselves and say, that's who I am. Technically, because you decided that. You have that amount of power. God placed that in you. That's just how it goes. But if you don't know it, because it's called subconscious, sub comes for substitute. Like you would have a substitute teacher. That ain't your teacher, but she's there in place of your teacher. And we talked about autopilot, right? And broke it down. You don't think it's strange that planes have pilots. You need somebody to fly it. But when it's in the air, they put it on autopilot and go do other things. That would represent what your conscious mind does. Meaning if I'm reading a book, I need a subconscious. Or as Victoria Gallagher put in her book, a subconscious pattern would be driving. When you first started driving, I see a lot of young cats in here, y'all might be first getting into driving. When you first start driving, you got to be very consciously aware, right? Like, around and you. But over time, you develop such a strong pattern subconsciously that you can drive home and not even know how you got there. I know that sounds crazy, but do it all the time. Someone in this room was talking about years ago in our younger days and was saying, I lived not far from this person that I used to just talk to at that time. And, you know, we were college kids, not saying that this is cool college kids. As a matter of fact, this is not cool, but we can't change our past. And she had a few drinks, and she said, I don't know how I will make it to your house sometimes. That sounds bad, right? Like, she's not, I know her. She was being extreme, but she was trying to make a point saying, we were living a wild and crazy life as kids, and we should have been being careful. God had a hand on it. Like we gotta be here for something. We gotta be special. Because I'd be doing stuff I ain't had no business doing, driving a car. And I agreed with her because we in cahoots. I mean, duh, we married. So the point being, her subconscious pattern was so strong is what she was describing. I just didn't want to talk about it right there because I'm a nerd all the time. So you got to like pick and choose. Because sometimes she'd be like, thank you for enlightening me about something. But dang, like, can you shut up? I'm like, sorry, man. You know what I'm saying? But that was her subconscious pattern, or mine too, the same. You just do it. And if you drive, you know what I'm talking about, or you know what Victoria is referencing. You just drive home. So that's what we do in a lot of things in life. So then that is important. And the theta state, which I started off going into this rabbit hole about, is what a child is in the first 1 to 7 or 1 to 9. I even read one study say 1 to 13. We know it's 1 to something or 0 to something. That's important to know. I don't care. I'll do my research more and find out what age we stop at. Forgive me for giving misinformation. But something's happening. They are learning at that age the formation of their subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is impulsive. Ain't no logic there. That's conscious mind stuff. I'm sitting here talking right now. I see faces. I see people content. When I say certain things, they want to, that I talk fast. You want to make sure. I'm like, let me make sure what these. I like it. I'm a skeptic too. Thank you. You helped me. I appreciate that, but you do that subconsciously. And what I also learned about being an extreme skeptic, nobody's more skeptical than me. That's how I stumble across information to become a nerd anyway. You can't be too skeptical of everything when you find enough proof. Everywhere I look, everything I look coincides. No matter what I read doesn't refute things like this. I can see proof in my life. Theories can be tested. I see proof. I do a lot of things that I don't even realize how I did it. I think I do, but I think consciously that I did. Like drive up here. Or since I tried to put wifey out there, she really the light of my life and helped me even become this way because I wasn't thinking like this at one point in time. So I put myself out there. Sharif, my homie, let me put you out there. No, he actually put me out there. He said I was driving because I wanted to look at this because I'm doing a cipher after this. I rap too, y'all. Check me out, so body matter. So I was kind of listening to the beat. And he was getting his verse together because he's going to do the cipher too. But I'm like, man, I am about to go do a lecture, so let me just look over stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of times that I got a little arrogant side that I like but need to learn to control because I'm like, man, I know this stuff. I love it. So I don't need to have to look over this. Let me get my cipher right. But at the same time, that's stupid. You about to go tell people and you claim you got this. This is how I talk to myself, I swear. You claim you got this passion to empower people, yet you're going to give them some message that you only looked over a little bit this morning. Now, I actually been reading it all week, so don't get it twisted. But I'm saying just to reinforce. And I know this. How foolish would I be to come give a message about reinforcement and not reinforce the message? This is how I talk to myself. I'm a skeptic. And I'm cynical almost to myself. It helps me, but it hurts me. So I'm looking at the triangle on my phone, and I kind of got it here. You shouldn't be doing this. I'm operating a vehicle, a rental vehicle at that. My vehicle's in Texas, right? This is stupid, but I'm telling you the truth. I just did something stupid here, like today. I'm saying that I'm conscious of. So I'm trying to do this. And he said, hey, bro, stop looking at your phone while you're driving. Now, I made it comical. He knows I got this arrogant side, so I made a little joke out of it, and we both laughed. I said, no. And we both laughed, and then I kind of looked at it a couple times, and then I did put my phone down because he was right, and I knew it. I say that to say, why didn't we crash? I told you exactly where my consciousness was, or my conscious mind was, excuse me. Where was I directing the part of me that's energy? We're energy, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to be skeptical of me or not. Go look. We got Google. We're energy in the core. Where was I directing energy? My energy. Me. Where was I directing me? I'm energy. Energy can never be created or destroyed. That's what I heard. I don't know. Where was I putting that at? Into all kind of different things except operating the vehicle. Thankfully, I developed a pattern to drive on the highway, but that don't always work out. And I knew that. So I talked to him like big homie. Yeah, no, I'm not turning my phone off, but I did. I just looked at it for a second. Anybody else got no ego in here? A strong one? Well, they would just been like, man, I put my phone up. Let me look at it one more time. Look at it strong, too. Just let him see, because nonverbal communication, just like the subconscious mind, is way more powerful than what you say. That's why I do all this. They say, he animated. I'm trying to get to you, because the truth can't be told. It can only be realized. And I just told you I understand skepticism. Let me bring that back. I seen some faces. The truth can't be told. It can only be realized. That's why on cartoons they symbolize it with a light bulb above the head, or it symbolizes realization. That's why your mama tell you the right thing over and over and over, knowing we out there doing things like driving and drinking. She don't want us to realize the wrong way. She been telling us the truth from the start. So we can't say, yeah, we know the truth. No, we heard the truth. And a lot of people know how to make things sound like truth. There's a whole science to it. It's called pseudoscience. I appreciate your skepticism for that. But at the same time, go look. I'm extreme for a reason. Because when you go look, regardless of what I said up here today, you're going to come up to your own conclusion. This behavioral triangle. Next, I wanted to go to explaining vibration. Because I just said everything is energy. So perfect. I actually did it subconsciously. I didn't even know. Everything is energy, vibrated, and what determines what frequency you vibe on. Anybody ever say, I don't vibe with that person? You don't dislike them. And that's hard to explain to people sometimes because they're trying to think of it consciously. But sometimes it's more, you think more. So you got some other stuff going on too. You got more brains. See, that's crazy, right? I'm looking at you specifically because you just look really in tune. You got more brains, you know that? They call it the enteric nervous system. The one's right here. That operates like a brain. And the heart does kind of too. I don't want to get into how. You can go look, or if you want to talk to me after, I'll get into it because it's kind of more of a rabbit hole than I want to get into. But that's why people say things like, think with your heart. What that mean? It means something. You know what I'm saying? So when you say you don't vibe with that person, that's the frequency that they're vibrating on. Energy vibrates depending on, we're all energy. First point. Energy vibrates depending on what frequency that vibration is at. Marshall has all this spiel you're going into about the law of attraction. I'm finna tell you. Depending on what frequency you vibrating at, comes back to you. God set it up that way, or if you're not religious, the laws of the universe. I told you last week about words and how they're really just supposed to point to something. Don't get too wrapped up in them. That's dangerous. Life and death in the power of the tongue. I told you. I didn't tell you that. Sorry, I ain't trying to claim credit for that one. I read that and told you how that can relate scientifically. So you're vibrating at a frequency, meaning that's what you're asking God for. Or that's what you're asking the universe for. Or that's what you're asking, say there might be an atheist in here or something, I don't know. Maybe you're asking for that vibration to vibrate back towards you because that's what you put out. So if you ask for a new car, but you want a new car, I told you about want. I hate that word. I like desire, things like that, because of connotation. Why am I so big on connotation? Because it got a certain vibe to it. I don't even like saying good morning. I don't know what that means. I just know I don't like to mourn. That don't feel good to me. So people be thinking I'm crazy, but I'll just be like, yo, what up, man? Good day. Sound a little weird, but I am a little weird. I'm pretty sure y'all figured it out by now. You know what I'm saying? That's just what the vibration is important. So meaning if you was to ask for a new car, but you've been wanting, who knows how want feels? Thank y'all for keeping it a buck. That's a vibe, and it's a connotation to the word want. When you hear the word want, think lack. Who knows what lack means? Without. So you think you're consciously, you are. I ain't gonna say you think is conscious action, actually. You're thinking, I'm asking for a car, but you got multiple ways to speak within you, even with the way we created speaking or however language was created or whatever, it's different ways to do that. Being bilingual is more powerful. That's scientific. More language you learn, it open up different pathways and stuff in your brain. I've tested that theory. I don't know no language fluently, but I've lived in Turkey 5 years, been playing in Europe 10 years. I've done some things and know a few little words. Merhaba. She know. She was with me. You see? That opened up some pathways in my brain. I expected people to think I'm a little weird. That's what science say. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is if I would be like, I be telling people now, they like, yo, you crazy. I'm like, bro, I'm a genius. But you are too. You got to reinforce people so they don't think you're just being egoic or bragging. People are like, why you say that? And you used to be surprised at some of the looks you get. I mean, I'll say that to anybody. But I believe that. Why I believe that? Not like, oh, I just think I'm smart. That's ego. We can talk about that one day too. Because of what I spend my time caring about and doing. What I'll stand for in the face of adversity. I'll stand for, I know it sounds cheesy, it should. You should be skeptical. I'll stand for showing love just cause. My life is proof of that. I didn't know him. Somebody asked me at the basketball, I went to Old State basketball game yesterday. I'm at 10 minutes. Oh, I got 10 minutes left. Somebody asked me at the Old State basketball game yesterday. Somebody important in my life too. What up, Doc? No Bugs Bunny. I told you I rap. That was trash. Yo. Somebody asked me at the basketball game, what did you say your relation to him was again? That's your brother? Or I didn't know what to say, because he is my brother. That's what but it ain't not by blood though, not genetically. I told you we gotta look at things from a practical manner, something scientific or philosophical, or, you know what I'm saying, actually philosophy is not exactly practical, but you get where I'm going, you know what I'm saying? And I said, I got the stuttering. As y'all can see, I might be a lot of things, but I ain't a man of little words. I got the stuttering. Because I didn't know what to say. Yeah, he's my brother, but I know what you mean when you ask me that. I'm talking to a doctor, for sake, one of the best I ever seen. I traveled the globe for a living. He one of the best doctors I ever seen. So I got to talk a little different. He made me stand up to that. It's like when somebody talk tough, and then they meet a bully who don't care that he a bully. Like, okay, what you about to tell me? I'm bad, I'm doing wrong, duh. Now what you gonna say? How tough are you? And you might still be tough. I ain't saying you not. I'm just saying that's when you see. So I'm talking this stuff because I like to dabble in metaphysics. That's real stuff. I like to dabble in psychology. It ain't dabbling, but I got to call it that because I understand I'm an amateur still. But even at the amateur level, I know I got something in me they ain't got. That's the way that's the laws. I done been playing basketball at a professional level at Division I. This is a college athlete right there. This ain't no bragging. He went to Oklahoma State yesterday. I'll get to going. Slow down. He went to an Oklahoma State game yesterday and said to me, bro, you used to dominate this? I didn't tell him I used to dominate this. That's the stats. He looked up and he asked me. He said, bro, you used to dominate here? This shit is crazy. That's what he said. This is crazy, bro. I didn't even see it from that view. Because when I was consciously in it, I subconsciously thought I was a basketball player. So that was my life. You see me doing well, like, yo, that's what's up, man. You don't understand. I had to do well to feel like I was somebody. I know you looking like, Mo, wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. I had to do well because I was self-identified with basketball. I gave y'all the reference to the Buddhist monks. I got the idea, or got pieces of it from Young Pharaoh, also on YouTube. Subscribe. That's where I got that idea from. He said it differently, but that's why I was thinking, like, yo, that's dope. Because we talking about what you say and that vibe and all of that. And what you say, you know what I'm saying, the connotation of what you say. Saying, I'm a basketball player. That's dope. But say I play basketball. Why not say that? What's the difference? I used to always feel some kind of way about that. But it's kind of cool to be a basketball player, so I ain't want to be the lame guy neither. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't care. Been around like, you know what I'm saying? I've been to countries where they don't care about basketball, and I went to that country to play basketball. They play soccer over there, or football. It's crazy we call our sport football. Shout out football. Shout out Dez. Dez gonna see that. What up, DB? Dez Bryant. I love football, but it's just crazy to me that they actually play that sport with their feet. I was just saying, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I go into rabbit holes, so excuse me, y'all. I'm still doing this. I'm an amateur at this, but my whole point is my difference and what separates me is my passion, is my cultural experience. I'll hone the rest. Shout out to the people who've honed that. Now they got to go somewhere. Shout out to people who study about Israel and Jerusalem. I've been there multiple times. I got pictures with my wife at King's David's table. That Last Supper table, we sat there. Or was there. I won't say we sat. I embellished a little bit. We was there. We didn't technically sit down. But I've been there. That ain't bragging. That's to say that means something too. So don't try to diminish me because I don't know as much as them. I know enough subconsciously. And that's going to influence my thoughts. That's why I'm cool with saying I'm a genius. Because I'm putting that vibe out into the world. So that's sending that back, and I'm doing it, what I told you about being bold in your truth. I said it last week too. When you know it's the truth, or you know it's your truth, or however you want to word it, be bold in it. Because that's the vibration you sending out. So I say I'm a genius. You ain't look at me now. You ain't look at my foolish stuff. I ain't hard to find. I'm a public guy. I hoop and all. You can look up stuff about me and you can nitpick me, and I may have said things in person, or you may know some of my vices. That's cool. Everybody got them. That would be foolish for me to let that get into me and say, I must be that. I ain't self-identifying with things that I've done, not even my great accomplishments. Why would I self-identify with something somebody said to me? That is insane. I'm a genius. And that made me feel some kind of way when I said it to you just now. So I'm going to keep doing the kind of stuff I'm doing. Soul Body Meta, man. Thank y'all for coming.